Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Arcade Cabinet, a game, I'm about to say game show, but a podcast by gamers, for gamers. We have hosts Billtendo, Chapetta, Scharonne the Painting, Herrington, and Fieryfoxx, and we are the Arcade Cabinet crew. How you guys doing?
What's up? All right.
Another day. We were just talking about earlier how Florida is just, man.
Right.
With these hurricanes. So we're wishing Fieryfoxx all well, but she said everything's all clear there, so.
Oh yeah, or at least where I am. I'm inland, so I'm good.
All right. Yeah, I just got hit last week, so yeah, it ain't no joke. Tornadoes everywhere and trees down, but hey, still got our video games.
Yeah.
Thank God for them.
I'm up here in New York. I don't have to worry about hurricanes. They had one here, and it was like 8 years ago, and they still talk about it. But they do have blizzards here.
Right.
You know, it's a whole different thing, though, man. I mean, come on.
It snowed one time in Florida, and they still talk about that. So.
Yeah, I believe it. Like people are still talking about last year or the year before when Louisiana got.
And it's
a half inch
highway because there was on the roads. I know it.
Right, that's crazy.
So that leads me to our topic today. We're going to talk about Rona, or the coronavirus, and how it's impacted the gaming industry. So who wants to start the conversation? And
Look, man, before I used to be a gamer a lot as a teenager. And I still am, not as much as I used to be, but since that coronavirus, I have played more video games. I've actually sat down and reestablished myself with my PlayStation and, the Nintendo, but more with the PlayStation because to me it's more adult, so it's more fun, being 43 years old. But man, I tell you what, you could go to Walmart, they will be sold out of all the systems, all the controllers, all the headphones. I mean, they'd have games on the shelves, but I mean, if you didn't buy a gaming system or have a gaming system already, you were asked out. It didn't even matter if it was a Game Boy. They didn't have one. It's been crazy, but fortunately enough for me, I'm pretty good collector as far as video games go, so I don't think I'm running short anytime soon. But man, I've bought all kind of digital downloads, and I even beat a game, like within a few hours, versus before the Rona, it would have taken me, I don't know, weeks, just because I'm always so busy. Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
For me, I subscribe to Game Pass on Xbox. Like I couldn't get a Switch. I was trying to get a Switch for months, couldn't find one online, couldn't find one in stores. Right. Finally last month, the Switch that I actually wanted, the Animal Crossing edition.
Right. It's nice.
At Wally World, and I went and I got one. So it's been wild. I think it's gone up. The amount of YouTube subscribers and producers has rapidly inclined, as well as Twitch users and creators. It's wild.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna say you guys know that I'm very, very heavily into the secondhand market of video games, and so what I've noticed is you guys are talking about how you couldn't go in Walmart and buy a game system, which is true. I noticed the secondhand market exploded in ways that nobody expected. You had $5 GameCube games that are now selling for $70.
Wow.
Same thing with some Nintendo 64 games. The secondhand market really, really went through a big upheaval with COVID because, not everybody wants to play a new game. Some people like me like to play the old games.
Yeah.
And, and then you can't go out and find old games, so you can only buy them online. So the prices, and everybody was trying to buy them, so the prices just steadily climbed up. And we're kind of on the secondhand market right now watching it because, we all feel like if everybody locks back down, which looks like it may happen, other countries are already starting full temporary lockdowns, then these prices are going to continue to go up. But if America doesn't lock back down, then I think a lot of these prices are going to drop, not to pre-COVID levels, but they are still going to drop some. So an $80 game, I've noticed some games like, for a little while there, I was just selling on Facebook in some of the groups, like private sales. People were offering me $50 for GoldenEye on Nintendo 64. I probably sold a half dozen of those over the last 3 months. And that price has now gone back down to pre-COVID price of $20 to $25, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
What do you think that has to do with the stimulus money?
Possibly.
Absolutely. Because everybody's locked up, and then you got this $1,200 check. And what are you doing with your $1,200 check if your rent is paid?
Yeah.
Right. You want to entertain yourself because you can't leave the house. So let's get a couple video games.
Billy, I got a question for you, though. Because you said in one episode, you said, was it the Wii Fit? Do you think if we go on a second lockdown, will people eventually be like, look, I need to get fit. Let me get that Wii Fit so I can get my COVID body right.
Let me tell you something. If people start begging for Wii Fits, I am going to be so rich, because every deal I pick up at a yard sale or a flea market comes with a Wii Fit and a balance board, and I always try to leave them because I have so many of them. And they're like, no, you got to take it. And I'm like, damn it. So now, I got them in the garage. I got some in the basement. I gave some away. If lockdown happens again and people are like, I want a Wii Fit because I'm going to shape up, look, call me because, I'm going to be rich.
I'm pushing for Wii Fits to go up.
Whenever my sister pisses me off, I'll buy another Wii Fit from you, send it to my niece. Just
you know what? We laugh about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I wouldn't be surprised. Some parts of the country are already locking down. Florida's opening up. We are welcoming hurricanes. We are welcoming beachgoers.
Right.
Come to
COVID,
Florida.
whatever. It's Florida. Just bring it.
Wait, wasn't it Florida spring break? They just said, F it, we're going to the beach. We're going to do whatever.
Though, I didn't go out for Halloween, but I went to a show that I had to buy tickets for, and it was limited seating capacity, and everyone had to wear masks, and there was no eating or drinking inside. It was a really, but driving in and out of town, it was because I live in a town where there's a big college, a university, it's just hundreds of people waiting in line, crowded, not social distancing, not wearing masks, drinking, just all over each other. I mean, it's really wild. And that's not even inside. That's outside, in front waiting to get in. So I don't even know when they have a bouncer cutting people off, how bad it is in there.
Wow.
Hey, look, we had, just a few weeks ago, speaking of that, we had Cruising the Coast, which is a pretty big event out here. Where all the old cars and everything, and I can promise you nobody was wearing masks, And you want to talk about trying to drive around with that, because I live pretty much close to the beach, so that's pretty much our way in and out of here. But yeah, you just don't drive the beach unless you're a part of that. Yeah, you stay home and play video games, or
I got a question. Has any video game company or where we were talking about KB's Toys? Oh, I think Toys R Us went. Any brick and mortars that suffered? I think this time around, didn't Toys R Us go bankrupt and KB Toys?
I think Toys
R Us was gone way before COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a couple of years since they've been gone.
Yeah, they left out a couple of years ago because right down the road, there's a city over here, Scharonne and Mark know what I'm talking about. It's about the size of Slidell in Louisiana. It's called Middletown, New York in Hudson Valley. And the Home Depot, Harbor Freight, this great little Chinese restaurant, and this good little sushi shop, and all that is in this one area. And the Toys R Us building is in that same parking lot. And it's been sitting empty for 3 years now. Wow. I expected it to be a spirit Halloween, for the Halloween pop-up stores. They didn't. It's just been a couple years now. The signs are still up and stuff like that, but nothing's there.
Like, man, I tell you what, I miss the feeling of going into Toys R Us, going to the video game section, but we got to save that for another episode, because that's something entirely all its own. But yeah, I can honestly say, like with this COVID, I have actually gotten very well acquainted with my video game. I mean, there's one in my living room, there's one in my art room. My son has one in his room, so I guess we've been pretty busy as far as that goes.
I would like to say with COVID, you said you played a couple games and ran all the way through them in a much shorter amount of time. I think COVID actually, if anything good actually came out of it, it actually gave me the time to sit back and enjoy Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild because it's such a massive game. And I wasn't like squeezing on it for 2 hours at a night, I got to play it for a couple days in a row and just play it for as long as I wanted. And, there was no impetus that, we're going out to dinner later on Saturday, so put your game up. It was just like, we sitting around the house, and I feel like not only did I get to enjoy a couple games more, I actually tried out other games that I wouldn't have had I not been so heightened in the gaming scene because of COVID. I was reading more articles on gaming than I had previously and finding out about a couple new games like A Hat in Time, which is a 3D platformer for the Switch, and it's an amazing game. But if it wasn't for COVID, I don't know if I would have ever come across that article that mentioned that game, and then I went out and bought it, and I loved it.
I mean, I even think if I were gonna be so bold, I think that COVID killed Fortnite.
Oh, you don't hear about Fortnite that much. Yeah, you bring up a good point.
Because Among Us has taken over, and I think that Among Us got super big during quarantine, and it's something that literally everyone can play. Kids are playing, adults are playing, teens, tweens, everyone in between is playing the game. Fortnite's dead.
That's what I was going to say about Among Us. The thing is, like, with Fortnite, you needed to be a skill-based player, and your friends needed to be skill-based, whereas with Among Us, you don't need any of that. You need basic skills to get in there and play, and you need to be a sneaky bastard. Other than that,
deeper than
game,
radio.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, you don't really, anybody can play it. My mom can play it. She's 65 years old, My niece can play it. She's 12. Anybody can play that. I don't know. I don't even like Fortnite. I never did. And at the end of Fortnite for me, I was in the car and I have the radio on. And let me tell you, Phil Collins comes on in the air tonight. 2 seconds before the drums, my stepson turns down my radio to tell me something funny about Fortnite. It wasn't funny. I thought about getting a divorce with his mom over that. It's too much.
interrupted the drums about. Yes.
I didn't even get to do it.
Drumming blue balls.
So I felt like the beginning of the lockdown, when the nation went on lockdown, was like, you remember when you were in school and you had the flu or something? What are you gonna do, right? When you feel a little bit better, you're gonna bust out the Nintendo, right? And I just felt that's how I felt like.
Oh, you talking about when the 3 o'clock angel comes by?
Yeah.
And he get out of school, the 3 o'clock angel comes.
Yeah. I gotta admit though, I got a lot of rest with COVID. Just say like taking those, like I would be like off a week and on a week and off a week. It felt good, to really just sit home and not really have to worry about anything except my video game, because I knew nobody was coming in. I wasn't going out, and it was what it was. Right. It's almost like you were, I don't say carefree again, with the exception you still had to pay bills. You know, nobody was going to bother you. You know, and
right,
it was nice. I mean, if we had a second wave, I mean, I know that's like taboo. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, the reality of it is, if we had one, I mean, hey, I'm ready.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, if the grid went down right now and the only thing we had left was electricity, I think I'd be busy for the next 5 years playing my backlog of games I already have.
Man, look, not trying to jump off subject too much, because, you know, we just had the hurricane out here last week, and the power did go down, and I had my Switch. I had my Nintendo Switch for a while. You know, I actually stopped playing before the power went out on it. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, before the battery died. In fact, I don't think the battery ever died.
Wow.
So, Scharonne, you're gonna love this. Right in the middle of COVID, right in the middle of the worst of the lockdown, we had a huge storm come through here, and a giant tree fell at each end of my street, and it knocked out power in the Hudson Valley for like 200,000 people. So me and my wife go to her boss's yard. You know, he owns a concrete company. And we take one of the generators and I bring it home and I fire it up. And when she gets home from work, I got the generator sitting on the front sidewalk of the house. And there's an extension cord running in the house to the big screen TV and the Wii U. And I'm playing Breath of the Wild on it. And she's like, you gotta be joking. Like, you can't plug in the fridge, nothing like that, but the game's on there.
You got your priorities straight.
Man, I feel sorry for this woman sometimes. I love my wife to death, but I feel bad for her because I do some dumb shit.
Oh, man. But that's, I mean, hey, that's life.
But think about it. The second lockdown, you play your video games. You don't have to worry about anybody coughing on you, spreading anything. You can play online with a bunch of people. It's COVID proof.
Maybe right. We'll finally finish him off.
Oh yeah. So if there's another lockdown, guys, I just want y'all to know I'm probably off the show because my wife will probably kill me if we get locked up in this house again.
I don't blame her though.
Well, I guess fortunately for me, I'm single, so I don't have to worry about that too much. I mean, I got the whole house, I got the whole palace to myself. So
there you go, man.
Shout out to all the ladies listening. Scharonne is single, and he's an artist and a very handsome gentleman. There you go.
He's available, and he's a co-host of the Arcade Cabinet.
Oh yeah, man, good time.
So if we have a second wave, we already talked about there'll be a surge. You think the video game prices will go back up? What else do you think we can expect as far as gaming wise?
The Billtendo prophecies for 2021.
Here we go. Yeah,
I hadn't seen that yet. So
prophecies. All right, so game prices will continue to grow. I don't think they're going to shoot up as steeply as they did at the beginning of COVID because people did a lot of grabbing at top dollar then. So I think they're going to be on a little bit shallower incline. I think they're going to go up. But I think over time they'll come most of the way back down. I was actually joking around with a buddy of mine today, and as you guys know, I have the website where I'm selling games now. Like a second lockdown and a STEMI check, boy, that would do it for my website. Like that would put us on the map, you know? But I think in general, I hate to say it, it's going to be really good for like Amazon again. It's going to be good for GameStop's online service, which I always have something bad to say about GameStop, so let me throw that out there. I don't order games from GameStop, ever. You don't know what you're getting. You say you order a game on GameCube. You don't know if it's coming in one of those GameStop paper CD sleeves. You don't know if it's coming in the case. You don't know if it's coming with a manual. You have no idea until it gets to your house. And the thing is, there's a big difference in price on some games, whether it's complete with the manual and original box, as opposed to loose game. Super Mario Sunshine's $50 for a loose disc, but only $60 in the case, whereas Twilight Princess is $75 loose disc, but like $120 complete.
So
you
Bill,
know? So, yes.
do they send it old school Netflix style when you order it? They give you the little envelope. That's how GameStop does it?
Sometimes they do. And that's the thing is you don't know if you're getting that or the original case with the manual or a case with no manual. That's why I don't order games from GameStop. You don't know what you're getting. And
where should our listeners order their video games, Bill?
With Billtendo,
from me. At arcadecabinet.com. If I don't have a game listed, let me know. And I'll list it for you. I'll make sure it gets on there.
What's the turnaround on something like that? Like if I wanted to order a Switch or a game for the Switch, maybe Chibi Robo. I don't know.
It's Chibi Robo, and that's for GameCube. My turnaround is usually like, if I got it on the website, I got it.
I was talking about things that are difficult to find, though. Like,
there you go.
Like how long does it take you to find something if it's like a difficult locale?
Depends on the difficulty level. If you're looking for like something like Chibi Robo, and cost is not a concern, it's actually out there. You can find it relatively easy. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more inexpensive but still hard to find, like 3 Dirty Dwarves for the Sega Saturn, it's gonna take weeks to find that game.
What?
And
3 Dirty Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Just the sound of
the hell kind of game is that?
I know.
I don't know.
Hey,
I
actually have it. It's a good old fashioned beat 'em up, Double Dragon style, Bad Dude style. There's 3 dwarves, and you get to switch between the dwarves as you go in. It's a side scroller, and it's just an old school beat 'em up. And I have it. A buddy gave it to me. It's a fantastic game because, like, say your dwarf that you're using, they travel in a line, and say he gets beat up and knocked out. Well, then you just switch to the second one, and you can drag him over to a recover spot, and then you got all 3 of your guys back.
So once you get to the end of the game, who do you rescue? Snow White?
I haven't finished it yet.
It's only 3 Dirty Dwarves, so it's like 1/8 of a Snow White. You get like her cap and one of her hands.
That's what I was gonna say. You get a calf and a thigh, and that's it.
Wow.
That's fair. I'm about it. Which one's the dirtiest dwarf? Asking for a friend.
Oh, perfect.
The friend is Scharonne. He's single.
Do they have like
that?
Do they have like the Snow White dwarf name? You got Dirty Dwarf and Dirtiest Dwarf.
I actually don't know what their individual names are. And you know what? It bothers me because they could have done like the whole Snow White style thing or fantasy thing, but they didn't. These dwarves were transported into New York City. So it's 3 dwarves in the Bronx. You know
what that actually reminds me of? There was a game on Super Nintendo years back. I think it was called Vikings or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. But except Vikings took place like in that Scandinavia, kind of old, not old West, but back then with the dragons.
Nordic.
Right.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from us. Our COVID stories and our Billtendo COVID prediction, and also the arcadecabinet.com. So, any last words before we end another great episode?
Oh, yeah. So, it's Friday tomorrow, and I will be uploading a new video game arcade Scharonne's 1/4 challenge, where it's not about how you play the game. Wait, I'm sorry. I said it wrong. It's not what you win or lose, but how you play the game.
How you play the game.
Right? Yeah.
And you can catch us all on all the streaming platforms, Arcade Cabinet. Myself, Billtendo, Fieryfoxx, and Scharonne signing off. Thank you guys for listening. Also, leave us feedback. We love feedback.
Yeah.